I'm 19 and live with my parents, who are usually super nice people. About 2 years ago, we got new neighbors. For the most part, we just stayed out of their way. Sometimes they were a bit annoying, and we had to complain a couple of times about loud weekend parties, but overall, they were tolerable. Until recently, things were calm between us. But then out of nowhere, problems started cropping up. Both we and our neighbors have dogs. Our pups are super chill and spend most of their time indoors. We live in Southern California, and when this incident happened, it was scorching hot, so our dogs were inside. But the neighbors' dogs, aggressive as hell, and practically live in their yard. Every time I let our dogs out to get some air, the neighbors' dogs would try to tear through the wooden fence between our properties. They dug holes under it, jumped, scratched, you name it. The holes were easy to deal with, we just filled them with dirt. But at some point, one of their dogs managed to chew a hole the size of a dinner plate in the fence and stuck its head through. We have cameras, so it was all recorded. My parents are understanding, so my dad went over to the neighbors and offered to split the repair costs since the fence is on the boundary between our properties. But the neighbor's wife, let's call her Lying Sally, called my dad a liar and accused our dogs of damaging the fence even though we knew it wasn't true. My dad said we had proof it was their dogs and demanded they pay for it all themselves. They argued, got nowhere, and in the end, my dad just nailed a sheet of plywood over the hole. Problem solved, but it was only the beginning. The next incident was just plain stupid. I still don't get why Sally even lied about it. This happened a few days after we called the cops for the third time because of their party. My mom parked on our driveway, got out of the car, and Sally marched over, accusing her of yelling at their lawnmower guy for mowing the lawn too loudly at 7:30 a.m. My mom was totally baffled. She'd never spoken to that guy in her life. We don't care what the neighbors do. Hell, across the street, one neighbor starts his motorcycle at 6 a.m., and another's always tinkering in his garage. We've lived here almost 20 years and are generally cool with noisy neighbor habits. So one morning, my mom went over to the lawnmower guy and asked if she'd ever talked to him. He said no. Sally saw this, ran out of her house, and threw a fit, screaming, "Why are you talking to him?" My mom shot back, "Because you're a lying bitch." That was it. Why she even made it up, I have no clue. We decided Sally was straight up unhinged. Over the last month, the neighbors sank to a new level of pettiness. Every chance they got, they took all the parking spots in front of our house. Our family has 3 cars, 2 on the driveway and 1 on the curb across from our house. The neighbors have 2 cars, and they'd park both along the curb in front of our houses where there's only room for 2. They completely stopped using their driveway and parked only on the street, forcing us to park our 3rd car at the end of the street. It wasn't a huge deal, but their behavior was pure petty nonsense. So my parents started getting even. As soon as the neighbors left for work, my parents would move our 3rd car back to our side of the curb. This went on for almost a year until we reached an unspoken truce, and they stopped their antics. Everything went back to normal until I accidentally messed it all up. I was coming home late at night in our 3rd car. It was dark, and I backed up too far, parking right in the middle between our houses. I was exhausted from work and didn't think much of it since the neighbors still had their driveway, which is the same size as ours and easily fits 2 cars. The next morning, I woke up to my parents arguing downstairs. Turns out the neighbors had parked one of their cars on their driveway and the other in front of our 3rd car on our side of the curb. It wouldn't have been a problem except the hood of their car was blocking our driveway. The issue was that if we tried to pull out, we might clip their car. And I think that's exactly what they were banking on. I was done with their games. I went over, rang their doorbell, and the husband, let's call him Pig, opened the door, immediately filming me like I was about to attack him. Absurd, considering I'm 5'2" and he's like 6'1". If anyone should be scared, it's me. The conversation went like this. Me, can you move your car? Pig, no. The police said I can park wherever I want. It's a public road and I'm allowed to record you. Me, I don't care if you're recording. I just need you to move your car. You have your own driveway. It's basic courtesy not to block your neighbor's driveway. Pig, you can still get out. It's not that bad. Me, yeah, but we don't want to accidentally hit your car pulling out. Pig, is that a threat? Me, no, I'm saying we don't want to pay for damage to your car just because you won't move it. I can't guarantee we won't clip it. It's way too close. Pig, I don't care. I don't have to move my car. You move yours. I realized I wasn't getting anywhere with him. I let him slam the door in my face and went home. I looked it up online to confirm, yep, it's illegal to even partially block someone's driveway. So by law, my neighbor had to move his car. But I decided to play petty bitch. I moved my car. I grabbed the keys and very carefully backed up our car, the one closest to his poorly parked one, leaving literally a few centimeters between my car's rear and his front. Now his car was trapped. He couldn't pull out onto the road. My car was also blocking the sidewalk, which I know is illegal, but I had a plan. Basically, I took his car hostage for a couple of days. Either Pig or Lying Sally would have to come apologize to get me to move my car, and I knew that was highly unlikely. Or, as I expected, a couple of days later, Pig called the cops and snitched on me. He had the smuggest look on his face when the officer told me I couldn't block someone's car like that, or obstruct a sidewalk. I said I understood and would move my car. But then I pointed out to the officer that it's also illegal to partially block someone's driveway, and Pig's car was sticking out more than 2 feet. The smirk vanished from his face. He turned red, and the officer told him he'd have to move his car too. I rolled my car back with the smuggest grin like a cat that caught its prey, while Pig sulkily pulled his car onto their driveway. I also made sure our third car reclaimed its rightful spot on the curb. Edited. We filed for a restraining order against Lying Sally and won the case in court. The neighbors threw another insane pool party that woke up the whole neighborhood. The police couldn't do much. We'd complain about the noise, they'd show up, issue a warning, it'd get quiet for 30 minutes, and then it'd start up again. Over time, some neighbors gave up, and some even moved out. It was especially hard on my mom when one of her friends who lived on the other side of the neighbors moved away because of these unbearable jerks. My mom finally snapped. When the party started dying down around midnight and guests were leaving, she marched straight to the hostess and warned her that if they didn't stop, we'd call the cops way more often. Naturally, Sally and her guests started laughing and mocking my mom, which turned into a nasty argument. Luckily, I had the sense to record it all just in case, and thank God I did. At one point during the fight, Sally screamed at my mom, "I'll knock you out." One of the neighbors called the police, and I totally get why. I was genuinely worried for my mom because Sally kept threatening to beat her up. The cops showed up, and everything calmed down peacefully. The next morning, I was reviewing the footage and remembered you can file for a restraining order for threats of violence. Here's the thing, I knew a restraining order could make someone lose their job or have trouble finding work in the future. From a sticker on her car, I knew Sally worked at a daycare. If I were kinder, I might have let it go. Too bad I am vengeful. So we filed for a restraining order, took it to court, and as soon as the judge saw the video, he sided with us, especially after Sally tried to lie, saying she never threatened my mom. She didn't even know I had video proof. The judge granted our request, and we were practically jumping for joy. Meanwhile, Sally burst into tears and begged the judge to reconsider. The sweetest part, I anonymously called the daycare, where she worked, from a friend's phone and told her boss everything. A couple of days later, I noticed the sticker on her car was gone. I'm pretty sure she got fired because she's been home almost 24/7 since then. Her car barely leaves the driveway anymore, and the crazy, noisy parties have finally stopped. It's been a month of total peace. On Christmas, the nearby neighbors brought us tons of cookie jars and chocolate boxes as a thank you. Edited. Someone asked how the judge saw the video if phones are banned in court. Fair point. Let me explain. We were told to turn off our phones completely. But as soon as the hearing started and Sally lied to the judge, saying I never threatened her mom, I said I had a video. The judge allowed us to show it through a special projector, and the whole courtroom watched the footage. It was the nail in Sally's coffin. By the way, in the comments, I mentioned I have a video of her kissing a guy who isn't her husband. There are a few reasons I haven't sent it to her husband yet. I'm not sure if they're in an open relationship. Both seem like the type for it to be true. They have kids, and as a kid whose parents almost divorced, I know how awful that can be. I hope Sally takes this as a wake-up call since she saw that video during the trial too. So she knows I have proof of her cheating. Maybe that's another reason the party stopped. Also, I don't exactly feel sorry for her husband. He's always been a total jerk. So it's my little revenge on him too, keeping that ace up my sleeve in case the noise starts again. This is almost nuclear level revenge. By the way, if I really wanted to go hard, I'd just show her husband the video of her kissing one of the party guests goodbye. And it wasn't a cute peck on the cheek, it was a full-on drunken French kiss with tongue. I'm petty, not evil. Anyway, cheaters get found out eventually, so I'm not worried she'll get caught someday if she's dumb enough to make out with someone right in front of her house. Story chapter 2. Apartment managers refuse to help fix our shared sewer line. Now they're losing tenants because their units are flooded with sewage. This petty revenge story started a while back, and yesterday the revenge finally paid off. The neighborhood we live in has changed a lot over the last 10 years. Almost all the neighbors sold their homes for demolition, and apartment buildings went up in their place. The problem is our sewer system is old and not designed for this kind of volume. Right now, a Chinese company is building a new sewer system, so the old one clogs up often. Our house has a septic tank, and we only use the public sewer for stormwater runoff. Our property is about halfway down a slope. It's bordered by a hedge at the top and a wall at the bottom. This means when it rains, water from the upper part of the hill flows down to us, but it has nowhere to go. The dirt road on the other side of the wall is poorly built, so water pools at our wall from both our side and the road. To manage stormwater, we have an underground pipe from the lowest point of our property to the sewer running parallel to the wall on the roadside. It's not ideal, but it worked for decades. Now with all the new buildings, the old sewer system just can't keep up. When it clogs, all the backflow ends up in our yard. It's the lowest outlet. There are 5 apartment buildings above us each with over 30 units, so the volume of backflow is insane. Usually we react quickly and clear it, but it's getting old. The worst part, the managers of those 5 buildings don't lift a finger to help. Last week, the Chinese construction crew damaged the old pipe. They just covered the hole with dirt and moved on without warning anyone. I came home to a stench. Our yard was flooded with sewage. I called my usual repair guys, but they weren't available. I figured it was time to make those managers up the hill pitch in. I tracked down 3 of the 5 managers. They were just sitting around doing nothing. Let's call them Manager 1, Manager 2, and Manager 3. The conversation went something like this. Me, hey guys, the sewer's clogged. I need help. Manager 1. Why do you keep bugging us? It's your problem. Me, it's our problem. We all use this pipe. You need to help maintain it too. Manager 2, we're already hooked up to the new Chinese system. Our building doesn't use the old pipe anymore. That was a lie. The Chinese construction was happening in stages, and it hadn't even reached our street yet. Me guys will all switch to the new line eventually. Just help out while we're still on the old system. Manager 2 annoyed after I called him out. It's not our problem. Do whatever you want. We don't care. Deal with your own shit. That really pissed me off. They had no idea how much I'd done for them. But if they wanted me to deal with my own shit, fine. First, I found the clog. Luckily, the workers were still there and happily helped me fix it, though I had to buy a new pipe to replace the damaged section and slip them some cash. But I didn't stop there. Fueled by those managers' audacity the next day, I got a couple of guys to help me. What did we do? We completely cut our property off from the old sewer pipe. Instead, we leveled out a dip in the road right by our wall so rainwater could flow freely down the slope. Then we removed one brick from the bottom of our wall to give the water an exit from our property. All I had to do was wait. Yesterday afternoon, the Chinese construction crew clogged the old pipe again. As usual, they didn't warn anyone, just covered it with dirt and rocks and moved on. By evening, the 5 apartment buildings started having issues. Tenants on the first floors, some of them my friends began complaining. Their units were flooding sinks, wouldn't drain toilets, wouldn't flush showers, smelled like sewage, and wastewater was coming out of their faucets. By tonight, almost all the first floor tenants in the 2 closest buildings started moving out. The stench in their units was unbearable, and I just stood there chuckling, helping my friends with their move. The managers are too embarrassed to ask me for help. They have no clue where to look for the clog because they've never dealt with it, and I'm not telling them a thing. Edited. The managers finally got moving. Turns out they're not that useless, they just needed motivation. All 5 managed to clear the clog by noon, though by then a 3rd building was having issues. A few more tenants moved out, mostly because of the lingering smell in the buildings. As I'm writing this, I just checked out the aftermath. The managers are still cleaning the units, and the repairs are going to cost them a fortune. I bet no one can live there for at least a couple of months. 3 of the managers from the affected buildings are seriously pissed at me. There were even threats they'd snitch to the building owners. But I'm not too worried. I'm pretty sure the owners will show up soon to figure out why they're suddenly spending so much on repairs. Those people are family friends. Folks I've known since I was a kid, back when our neighborhood was still small. So I doubt I'll have any problems. The new drainage system we built a few days ago hasn't been tested by rain yet, so fingers crossed. Either way, I'm not going back to the old setup. Some comments here got me digging online, and I realized dumping rainwater into the sewer is a terrible idea. So I won't do that anymore. With that, I think my story of malicious compliance is over. Thanks for all the comments, I learned a lot and cracked up at the poop puns. Take care and don't stink, guys. Well, that's it. Let me know what you think of both stories in the comments. Thanks for watching this video to the end. Check out our previous videos, which you'll see right here. Subscribe to the channel to see more stories like this. And good luck to you all.